Welcome to the Loan Officer Breakfast Club, my friends. We are brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals, of course. We're going to have a lot of fun today, and we're going to start right about now. I love the timing of that. All right. It's good to see you guys here this morning. Okay, let's look around and see who's showing up. Man, a lot of the same peeps, maybe some new people. And that, that reminds me, we don't ask about the new people often enough. So if you are just tuning in, showing up, we'd like to hear from you in the chat. And also in the chat, I would like you to tell us what you believe. What you believe the capacity of the year is left. It is Wednesday. Kristen is going to deploy the flux capacitor into the chat right now. So we're going to get the flux capacitor put in there, which means, this is Wednesday. So every Wednesday, there it is. The flux capacitor is there. I'm going to give you the flux capacitor is in. So, what we do is we kind of figure out, well, how much time is left in the year, right, to meet our goals. And we've been doing this from the very first week of 2025. Now, Steve, and Jen and Krista and Maz and the rest of y'all here, last week I came unprepared, right? I wasn't sure what the capacitance was.
We were all very surprised for a Navy man to be unprepared.
Exactly right. This is very uncommon. I fully reprimanded myself afterward, Kristen. So, I suffered greatly for that. But here it's starting already. So we're asking people. We asked you guys last week. Well, what is it? Somebody figured out we had different numbers popping in.
Yeah.
Now, listen. So Sharon, look at these
Sharon.
people.
I'll tell you, Sharon's probably got it.
Here's not. No, I don't think so, Steve.
Come on.
I don't think so.
Oh boy. I
don't think so. So here's what it is. What? It's a weekly thing. So I think if you're doing it by the day, you might be right. Okay. Oh, look at Shelly. She's at 58. See, this is across the board. This is what we've fully substantiated in this little exercise last week and today, Steve.
Truth is always somewhere in the
math
middle.
is hard for loan officers. Okay.
Math is hard. Yeah, that's funny.
Vicky, 32.
When it comes to calculating and spelling, a little bit tough, but we can certainly sell, right?
Right, we can sell. All right, so here's the way it has to be calculated just for future reference. It's by the week is the way I was doing it.
52 weeks, all right.
So you use the 52-week process. Now, I asked ChatGPT, and ChatGPT told me this morning and gave me the thorough breakdown, showed her work, why she believed this number was accurate, and she says today, for this week, 63.5%.
All right. There you
63, go. Look at Vicky, 59.6. From ChatGPT, did you do weekly? I don't think so. And if you did ChatGPT on a weekly basis and ChatGPT's coming up with different answers, oh my God, we are in a lot of trouble. Because I tell you what, man, we are really relying on that thing for a lot of stuff right now. So I show 63.5. I'm sticking with that. Yeah. So what is it? 61.5.
And guess what? You lead the show, so your answer's correct. So let's go, my man.
There you go. So 63.5. That's what we're going with. That's what we have left in the year, 63.5 in that range, right, to get things done, to meet our goals. And that's where we're at right now. So, man, I tell you, there's a 6, man. You know what I mean? And it's a low 6, right? And so we're going to be dipping into the 5s real fast. Isn't this year just accelerating? Isn't it just flying by? Yeah. How do you guys feel about that? Everybody's showing their work in the chat. This is great. So, how do you guys feel about the year so far? How are we feeling right about now? Are we feeling like I got it? Or are we feeling like I'm catching up, or like I'm behind, or I'm ahead? Or, let's ask, are you ahead, behind, or at par? Just put that in the chat. Ahead, behind, or at par, based on your goals that you set for yourself at the beginning of the year. Yeah, which is what we did. Look at the aheads. Yeah, we got some aheads. Yeah. Good, man. Awesome, man. Some behinds, right? Got some behinds. Yeah, interesting stuff. So, okay, look, let's get, what? I just want to get into the show. So first of all, Gen Z. Yeah. We have a few things that we wanted to make sure people are aware of. So today at 2 p.m. Eastern, if you're a Mortgage Marketing Animal member, you've got the Complete Loan Officer, right?
It's
Complete
tomorrow.
Loan Officer.
That's on Thursday.
I'm sorry, tomorrow. Yeah, and that is at 2 p.m. Eastern. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be Carl White really hashing out and going through the 9-word text.
That's right.
Ooh,
right, the 9-word text.
That's a good one. Yeah,
it's a good one.
Yeah.
The thing about the 9-word text, it's one of the simplest things you can possibly do. It's like, everybody wants easy, right? This is easy. It's easy and it gets results. So, Mortgage Marketing Animal members tomorrow, Complete Loan Officer, 9-word text, 2 p.m. All right, Steve, today you have got the masterclass, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And give us a little briefing on that. And I think, gosh, you've probably got hundreds and hundreds already registered for that right now.
Yeah, hey, here's the thing, and we're going to talk a little bit about it today. And I saw some people in here say, I feel like I'm behind. There's two things I was going to say, Frank. It's like, how do we feel about it? We ought to be a little urgent, and I think feelings matter less. It's more about, have we decided to take action? I think where we have to get, if we're not where we want to be, oftentimes you'll wake up and say, I wonder if I feel like I'm going to do this today, or I wonder what I've got to do today, or what's the one thing that moves the needle. And what we have to take action and make a decision. And once you've made a decision, we're just stewarding the decision. And today in the masterclass, here's what I'm passionate about. I was talking to somebody last week, and they were doing all this networking stuff, literally spending 5 40-hour weeks a year networking. And I asked her, I said, how many closings did you get from both networking groups? She was spending 8 hours a week. And you know what the answer was? 0. And you know what my next question is? It's like, Frank, does that bother you? She's like, I don't know. I'm still trying to see if it works. And I said, well, what if we could do something that actually moves the needle? And what if there's only one thing? And that's what I'm going to do today is I'm going to lay out how to predictably close 8 loans a month. And without cold calling, and without chasing internet leads and leads that don't close. And so it's really about a predictable process that creates predictable income. And I'm going to lay it out. I'm going to talk about the importance of the one thing and get rid of the distractions, because I think that's a big deal. It's like we get so busy, the emotions go up and down, but what if we could eliminate all that and say, okay, if I don't do anything else, I do this one thing. That's what's going to help me have a predictable income. And it's what helps you get off the roller coaster. I've talked to so many people. It's like, I'm closing 8 loans this month. Dang it, I only got 2 in my pipeline next month. Well, what if we could change that? And that's what I'm going to really focus on the masterclass this afternoon. It's at 12 p.m. Eastern, and it's at new MMAmasterclass.com. So there you go.
You still got time to get in. Yeah, it's free. It's for anybody. Anybody can do it. So
and it's a gift. And it'll be great. Yep.
New MMA stock.
Yeah.
Let's
hold on. You're breaking up.
Sad trombone.
Yeah, Frankie, you're breaking up on me.
Oh man, it's your show, Steve.
Yeah. All right, jump back in or something. Hey, all right. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be great. And how to activate the people close to you. And so, yeah.
Hey, Steve, Josh has a hand up.
Yeah, let's do it. Josh, what you got, man?
Hey, Steve. So
what's up,
I
brother?
was on your masterclass the last time.
Yeah.
And I scheduled my strategy call with Kristen.
Yeah.
Was having trouble reaching out to realtors and really converting on the business. She gave me a little updated, short, simple script to use. And yesterday I made 19 calls and had 8 talk tos.
Let's go, man. Come on. Hey, listen. When's the last
Kristen?
Hey, real question. When's the last time you like? How did that feel taking the action and having the conversations? And what was that like?
Oh, it felt amazing.
Yeah.
It really felt amazing. I couldn't believe the responses I was getting, and everybody was just like, I really couldn't believe people answered the phone in the first place.
Yeah. Kristen, great job on that. And you know what? Hey, Josh, great job in taking action. And I'll tell you, you know what I think we do? We tend to wait for confidence to come. We tend to wait for clarity to come. And one of the things that happens is clarity comes in taking action, not in, if anybody's like me, I don't know about you, Kristen, but it's like, I'll tend to over prepare. It's prepare. And what we've learned is just take action. And the number one predictor of your income in 90 days is, what are we doing today? And Kristen, it was interesting as we're seeing all those a little bit behind. Mm-hmm. But you know what's great? It doesn't take much to catch up.
Well, and here's the thing, Steve. He was making calls. We just needed to tweak you have to kind of drill down then. Okay, if we're making the calls and we're not getting the conversion,
Yeah.
let's take a look at what scripting we're using. And
Yeah.
so it just made all the difference for Josh. I'm so proud of him for, just making some changes and continuing to make calls. And now he's seeing results from that.
Yeah, love that.
Hey,
Well,
we did, Mac and I did the dialed in yesterday. It was a scripting workshop.
yep.
And we had people bring their scripts. Everybody was kind of commenting on them. And it was a really, really good, for members, if you weren't there, watch the replay.
Yeah.
It was fun and good. Yeah.
If you're getting value from this already, go ahead and tap that like button. It helps more loan officers find content that actually makes a difference. And hey, if staying ahead of the market and learning what's really working in our industry matters to you, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss another episode. We read every comment, so drop your thoughts down below. We'd love to hear from you and know what's working or what you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you here next time.
Hey, and let's do this. I know you wanted to say something for members today. I'm also going to teach the team building class this afternoon. And whether you're a team of 1 or a team of 10 or 20, what the focus is today, and it's at 2 p.m. Eastern, and it's team building. I do the class once a month, and we're going to be talking about how to delegate and get things off your plate. I know that was something, Frank, we were talking about in the green room is how many of you just feel like all roads lead to you, and it's like you wake up, and whether it's going to get the lead or whether it's clearing conditions and your back end team saying, hey, I need help to go chase this down. How many of you feel like, man, I got a lot of stuff I got to do? And part of the cyclical part of being on the roller coaster is that all roads lead to you. So today what I want to do is help you with some things that you can do right now to get it off your plate, to at least begin to remove the busy work. So
yeah. And that, what Steve Frank was mentioning too, how many people on here are sort of operating in a lone wolf capacity right now where they're kind of running around and doing everything. And I know Jen and I were having this discussion where like the two questions that we hear the most is, when should I hire somebody? When should I hire help? And where do I find them?
yeah.
And so I love that you do this class once a month, because it really gives people a very clear roadmap to kind of what does that look like?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
who is my first hire and what do I have them do and when should I do that? So if you're a member and you're not taking advantage of that, please hop onto that class today at 3. And if you aren't a member and you want to get on that class, just give the office a holler.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, and let me do this while we're talking about it. One of the things, let's do this real quick. Everybody, and I don't know if you're driving, don't do it. And Frank, if you're in, just feel free to jump back in. There you are, baby. Hey, because
am I broken up still, or am I good?
You're great now, man. You're great.
Okay.
Hey, go for it. If you've got an agenda, we'll follow.
So here's what I wanted to chat about.
Sellers giving them.
Got it.
Good thing that seller's giving them concessions.
That's right. Hey, and that's a story of all of our lives today, right? I mean, that's just the way it is out there. Yeah. So, you know what I was thinking about, and it's a good thing. So you've got the master class today. You've also got the team building.
Yeah.
Right. Going on.
Just talked about it. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. And so, and ironically, I was telling Kristen and Jen and Maz and Krista in the before I came up show, I was thinking about using. This was real. Experiencing it on my own right now. Am I?
Oh, Frankie, you're in and out, man.
Wah, wah, wah.
I know. Give
He
me
had,
those.
okay, wait,
That
he
sounds
might be back.
relentless on that this morning.
Hold
He
on.
had so much good to talk about.
I know he does.
He
That's
can't
why I'm
wait to do it to everybody else.
trying to give him a second. I know.
Am I still messed up?
Well, it's in and out. So try it again. Now I can kind of hear you.
You can kind of hear.
There you yeah, I don't know. Hey, you know what it probably is, Frank? You probably got to reset your router. Sometimes your router gets cluttered.
That's
so
probably what it is. Well, if you got me, Steve, you know what I wanted to talk about, being all alone.
I got you. Go for it. You're talking now.
Okay, yeah. So what I wanted to talk about is there's a lot of us out there in the industry who are just literally all alone, right?
Yeah.
We're the one man or one woman show. Nobody, no help, right? We got a company that has a processing for us, but a lot of times that processing means I need all this stuff, and you go and get it, and then you turn it in, and then after you turn it in, right? They review it and they go, okay, now I need more, and you go and get it, and you turn it in, right? Am I still in? You guys still hear me?
Man. Yeah, you're good. This is
okay.
Perfect.
And so, yeah, so there's that experience of being the one man show. Put in the chat if you're a one man show. Say I am. A one man, one woman show. It can be very, very difficult because you've got a lot of things that you want to do, right? And especially when it comes to prospecting and marketing and being creative and finding business. I think a lot of us genuinely enjoy that part of the business, right? Being the creative part, trying to find things. But man, oh man, we're in the nuts and bolts of the deals that we've brought in because we've exercised the daily success plan. We're making our calls. We have to do those things. We have no choice but to do those things, no matter what, to get some business in the door. But if we're a one person show, if it's just us, right? There's only so much that we can do, right? And listen, and I'll be in reality. I mean, I know we like to say, it's like 5, 6 loans. That's probably true. Like as a one person show, you're probably stuck at
That's
that
right.
four.
Well, you can
5.
touch up to 5 and 6, but you can't repeat 7 twice in a row. Like
Yeah, it's too
that's
hard.
the big roller coaster. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
too hard. So, it's like we have to at some point. We've got to do that though. We have to be the one man show. We have to put in the time. We have to do the daily assessment. We have to make the calls because that's how we're going to get our money because we can't afford anything else, right? I can't afford an assistant. I can't afford gadgets and gizmos that might do this stuff because I need the money. I got to earn the revenue. So we have to do those things. And so I think what I wanted to explore today is once I got that 4 going and I'm pretty consistent at let's say 4, right? And I'm spinning my wheels and I'm chasing all the conditions. I'm doing all that stuff, but I do have a little bit of money coming in now, right? What do I do first, man? Like what's the best thing to do first? Because, gosh darn it, I do want to do cool things, man. I do want to have great products. I want the AI CRM. I want MoveTube. I want, all these cool things, because they are cool and they do great stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when and what and what's next? What's the first thing? What do I do? And I know you're going to explore that on team building. And I know you'll
got a lot
explore
of
that
thoughts,
on
man.
but give us some thoughts on that, Steve, because there was a lot of people that say they're in this boat. There's a lot of people that are like, that's me. So
it was so funny. As you were just saying that, like your first question was, when do I get help now? How do I pay for it? I don't care. I mean, it was just my first thought is I remember like Carl White's story, his very first assistant he hired, he put in an ad for like 4 hours a week and the lady answered it. And that 4 hours turned into the next day and the next day and the next day. And I would just tell you this, there's something we do, and Kristen can jump in as much. Like when I heard you first, it was, I want to do all these cool things, but I'm closing 0 to 8 loans a month. And the first thing I thought is, I don't care what you want. If you're really trying to build a real business, there's 3 words. What do I have to keep doing? What do I have to stop doing? And what am I going to start doing? And the keep doing is the one thing that moves the needle. And I like the CRM. I like digital marketing. I like farming. I like all of these activities. But Frank, the reality is, if they're like, it's the 5 levels of the growth plan. And the first one is, if you're just trying to survive, which is 0 to 4, or I'm trying to stabilize, which is 4 to 8 units a month, you don't need to do anything but have great conversations with qualified agents. Why? Because that is the fastest way to put a deal in the pipeline. And when you get a closing, I now get revenue, and that revenue, I don't care if you close 1 loan. Take 10% of that loan and hire a VA to check your emails. Hire a VA to do some of the busy work. Like, when do I get help? Now. And just to be candid, if I had to beg, borrow, and steal, and I say that very kind of jokingly, like, you need help lifting off your plate now. And here's the other deal too, Frankie, whether you're in the broker world or you're in the independent mortgage banking world, everybody's got a processor. And so the first piece of help you get right now is your processor has got to take it from contract to close, so that they deliver on 4 things. They submit your loans, and here's the 4 deliverables, so you don't have to micromanage everybody. Submit my loans in 72 hours. I want 5 or less buyer conditions. I want my loans clear to close 3 days prior to close and docs out 48 hours. And if you get a back end processor who can deliver on that, you've lifted about a third of all of the work from start to finish. And so it's like, when do I get help to win? Now. It starts with your back end processor. And if your processor isn't strong enough, then you've got to reach out to whoever's managing that team. Or if you're a broker, you've got to identify a processor and say, these are my 4 non-negotiables. And
Right.
what I need you to do is make sure that when I give you a loan, that bad boy goes to closing. And what I'm going to do is focus on prospecting. And then out of all of the things, what am I going to keep doing? Keep doing what you did to get your last 5 deals. And really be honest about it. Well, I'm doing 5 networking events. Okay, Frank, how many deals did you close? And I would say not in a year. How many closings did you get in the last 90 days from the activity you're currently doing? And that's a true serum, Frank. What if everybody went to their calendar and said, well, I did BNI. Awesome. How many fundings did you had?
Right.
I did this realtor event. How many fundings? I did this lunch and learn. I did this happy hour. And when you start to really identify which loans came from what activity, Frank, I think you'll be shocked to realize we like busy but not effective.
Right, right. Someone was asking, and I think it's a good idea, if you could put those parameters for processing back, if you could say those again, so we can get those in the chat.
Yeah, hey, and you'll
what you
have to go
expect from
back to
processing.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really easy, and we talk about it in team building, and
Yeah.
and I got a whole class inside the marketing animals about structure. But it's, look, when you're managing a back end team, and let me just give it to you really easy. When your processor submits a loan in 72 hours to underwriting from receipt of the disclosures, you don't have a problem. It didn't sit on their file, their desk 10 days. So the service level agreement is, when you see disclosures are signed, you've got 72 hours to submit that loan into underwriting, which means call the borrower, get additional conditions, and submit the loan. Now, when you submit the loan, you got to have 5 or less buyer conditions. What that means is they didn't submit a junky file. It was a clean, thought out, reviewed file. Now, you won't have appraisal and title and insurance, HOA, condo docs, but you will have all the buyer docs. And if you got more than 5 buyer conditions, that means it was not very well put together. So it not only do you have to submit in 72 hours, you got to do a thorough job. And then you need to manage the process so that we're clear to close at least 3 days prior to, and your documents for funding and closing have got to be out 48 hours prior to. That's the 4 things.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
If you do those 4 things, Frank, I think if everybody would agree, if those 4 things happen, what kind of problems you got? Like, you're not worrying about the back end. That tells you it's getting done. Yeah.
Right. Now, yeah, and once that's in place, if that's truly in place,
That's got to be done today. Like,
Yeah,
if
and
you asked everybody, hey, matter of fact, how much time do you spend once you've handed a loan off? How many hours do you spend a week processing or helping processing in your files? I'd love to see that. Because
Yeah.
you know what's interesting? Watch these numbers. Drop it in. 8 hours a day. Woo, Daniela. We got to help you with
well,
that. man.
Daniela's obviously, what I was talking about.
Under
She's the
1 hour. See, 1 hour's
person
good.
show.
Yeah, 1 hour's good. Robert, hey, but listen, you said too much. 30 minutes. Hey, 30 minutes is great. That means it's 4.5. What is that? Yeah, 2.5 hours a week. Look, if you're spending 2 hours a week or less, you're in a great spot, because you should be doing a morning huddle and check in.
Yeah.
The problem comes whenever it's like, I've spent 4 hours a day or 10 hours a week. And it's like, well, first, that's the first thing you got to solve. If you don't solve for that, like, that's the number one solution. And most of you work at a company, and having a serious conversation would allow you to be able to say, hey guys, if you have to take care of this, it's your responsibility. Let me go get more business. That's where I'd start, number 1.
Yeah, that's number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2, hey, number 2 is on the front end. What events, what activities are you doing that you like, but are not actually closing loans? And listen, I like it, but let's be clear. I was talking to a friend of mine. She's a part of this group, and she's like, I love it. It's a networking group. And I said, how many deals did you get from it? She said 0. I said, listen, you like that group. Let me help you identify it and be proper in your thoughts. You are doing charity work. You're not prospecting. And as long as you know you're doing charity, which is amazing, you get to choose what to do. And if you want to donate it, like I love helping the church, I love helping nonprofits, I love doing networking events. But if there is no revenue coming out of it, then you're being charitable. And she said, yeah, but I can't afford to be charitable. I said, but yeah, you're not closing any deals. So we have to be honest with ourselves, Frank, is that a lot of times we're doing activities, and if there's no dollars associated with it, we're just being contributors, which is good. But if you're saying I can't afford to have busy work or things that don't produce revenue, then you have to be honest. And there's three things you got to do. Keep doing what's moving the needle. Stop doing everything else and start doing the one or two things that will help you 10x your business. Like start delegating, start saying no. I think half the problem is most of you need to just say no to more things in a very respectful way and just say, hey, I appreciate the. A friend of mine invited me. Hey, true story, broker owner of a Weikert realtor, four places. Last Wednesday said, hey, I'm doing this doctor thing. I'm on the board. I want to invite you and Steph to it. And listen, I love him to death. I appreciate him. I get like there was an event he invited in a very cool and a respectful way, which didn't hurt his feelings. I had to say no because like there are things that you'll do you just got to say no to because I think we get sucked in and feel obligated. I got to do all these things. Well, the problem is I don't need to go to that event to continue to service his clients and him because we have a very deep relationship. And for him, it was more of a one-off ask. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a difference maker. But typically I would feel obligated to go. And the truth is, it didn't mean that much to him. It was kind of off the cuff. And so instead of investing that 4 to 8 hours, I'd rather put it where it moves the needle. Does that make sense, Frank?
Yeah, it does. Because we get thrown these things all the time.
All
It's
the
like, hey, you
time.
sponsor a hole at the golf tournament, right? You want to sponsor? It's great exposure. It's only going to cost you $900. It's like, wow, maybe I should do that. What are you honestly going to get from that? Nothing. More than likely nothing. And all kinds of other things like that. Those things come across our desk all the time. So, and you know what? Hey, and here's the truth. Hey, if you're killing it and you're doing great and you're all good and you got all the help you need and you're doing a lot of loans and you want to sponsor the golf
Do it.
tourney,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Go for it. But if you're the one man show and you're not at the point to where that's just wildly practical and extremely affordable and no problem at all, probably not the best idea, right? We do
Hey,
need to
and
learn how to respectfully say no.
Frank, and you got to remember, you and I are talking, like if you're closing 20 loans a month, 15 to 25, 30 loans a month, that's a different ball game because look, you should be putting 10% of your revenue aside for marketing and you should be tossing dollars to the people that are true partners. But the majority of people on this call are not in that spot. The majority of people, we just get sucked into things that are ancillary and not moving the needle and then saying, like when we started, we asked how many of you are ahead or behind. A lot of us are, when you look at it, it's like behind. And the question is why? And it's probably focus and lack of getting things off your plate. So, hey, we saw Chauncey. Chauncey, did you want to say something? Saw him raise his hand. Um,
Yes. Hey, Steve, how you doing? Good morning,
what's up, my
everybody.
man? Hey, brother.
What Steve is saying, and I know I do this a lot, Steve, because in your class, and it was so impactful for me. All of those things he's discussing, if you implement them, they work, right?
Yeah.
So when I say implement, it's not just in regards to our business model, right? In regards to real estate, look at you personally as well. So what I had to do what helped me was I have two little daughters, love them, the 4-year-old and 8-year-old. Every morning, it was taking me about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes to get them ready. When
Yeah.
you add that up over time, if I don't develop and train them, I'm losing time with that with in regards to what I could be doing professionally, personally, whatever it may be. So it's best that I develop and train them correctly so I can bring that down to 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, and it frees up more time for me to get things done. Those same things happen in our real estate world, right? In the mortgage business. If you are not developing and training, setting clear expectations on what needs to be done from your processes, from your LOA, from anybody in your team, and setting expectations with yourself, you are not going to be able to move forward from those 1 to 2 loans a month or 3 to 5 loans a month. It's not going to happen. You have to get yourself, I always say, look at your calendar. If you look at your calendar right now and it's not booked with appointments, you have time to get back in and make things happen. If your calendar is free and just open, then everybody sees your life that same way. You have to be focused on what you want to do, how you want to get things done, and do the back math. And Steve taught me this as well. He's going to say, hey, make this many calls. I'm not going to steal your thunder, but make this many calls. This many no's predicts this many yeses. This how many contracts you can get. It is pure math, but you have to stay focused and drive on it. But look at everything in your life. Just not piece. Look at when you wake up. Look at your time. How's it being spent? Are you getting better, or are you still wasting a lot of time every single day to do the things that you want to do, right, and growing your business? So just keep that in mind. But definitely join Steve's class in that regard. It's going to help you. And if you all didn't see my post that I put in here earlier, I was the guy who was going 2 loans a month, 3 loans, and then a goose egg, and then 3, and then goose egg. And what was happening was that I needed an LOA. Thankfully, I could afford it at that time. I did. But 2 of the last 3 months, I've hit over 2 million, which I've never done in my career. Never have done it.
Great job, man.
But now I understand the process
brother.
of getting that done. And this month, I'm going to be closing around 2.7 million.
Let's
So it's
go.
just scaling up from there. So just stay focused. It works. Trust me, it works. You're going to be fighting yourself. Your biggest competitor is you in the mirror. It's not the real estate world. It's not these mortgage lenders are on here. It's not the real estate agents. It's you. Look in the mirror. That's your biggest competitor, and attack it and make it work.
Appreciate you, Chauncey.
Awesome, man. Thanks, John. Hey, man, we're at the top of the hour. So I think we'll leave off with it. Look, man.
Hey, listen, he was talking about the 8-week boot camp. We've
Yeah.
done some really, and that's, I've got a class coming up. Would, if you're interested, hit it up with the team. But Chauncey, you're doing the work, man. Great job, brother.
Excellent work. But I think the place to start today is if you haven't already joined us at Mortgage Marketing Animals, which we absolutely encourage you to do. The one thing that you would probably want to start paying some money for is the coaching through Mortgage Market, through us, right? Because you're going to get this type of information, in a lot more detail and a lot more things that we can help you with for a very, very, very low price. That would be the one thing if you can start spending some money on would be coaching. But a way to dip your toe in the water would be definitely to attend Steve's free class today, right? Definitely attend that free class today because you're going to get a good dose of what's inside behind the curtain, how we can help you in a much deeper way. New MMAmasterclass.com. It is at what time? Noon?
12 p.m. Eastern.
Noon Eastern
12
today.
p.m. Eastern.
Get in there.
Yeah.
Get in there today.
An hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah. If you raised your hand today saying, that's me, right? I'm the solo person. It's everything. You need to get into that class today. You need to get into that class today. And then we would encourage you to go further, right? And join us at Mortgage Marketing Animals. You can reach out to us at the main office or go to dailysuccessplan.com. So cool. People are registering. It looks good. Rudy Devers said the market's down 16 basis points, which, okay, thanks. Appreciate that, Rudy. But I think we're probably pretty much good to go.
Get out of here.
Except we just have to have a couple of parting words from Krista Russo. Go ahead, Krista.
I just want to thank you all for your patience with Frank Caray's technical difficulties. For a Navy man, I am really disappointed. No, I'm just kidding. I hope everyone has an amazing day, and we can't wait to see you at noon Eastern time for Steve Kyle's class. It's going to be full of amazing information.
All right.
And don't forget to call your past client database.
Yeah, past client database. That's what we're calling today. You guys have a great day, man. Thanks for joining us. See y'all later. Go get some Steve Kyles later today. That's what you need to do. Adios, my friends.
Have a great day, everybody.
Anything
See you
worth
on the
doing
master
is
class
worth doing
at noon.
badly. Just get started. Come on.